Ciao a tutti, siamo live, c'è la partita e adesso ne parliamo un po' mentre va. Stanno per cominciare, sono in campo, non so se sentite l'audio, non credo perché credo di averlo tolto l'audio del desktop. Forse entra, aspetta che lo metto, va.
For a nifty plus
Ok,
478
se fa
payout
casino
first 5
ditelo.
innings, the total under 3.5 runs scored. Skeens to strike out 7 or
E
more. Bo Bichette to get a knock in his Mets debut. Baseball fans enjoy all the best action this
niente,
year
siamo
on
qua.
FanDuel. And
Sono
all
ancora
opening week,
pubblicità su
all
pubblicità.
customers can choose
Ieri
the
sera
reward they want to
ragazzi,
use
se
on
avete
any
visto
MLB
l'opening
bet. Play your
day,
game
è
on
stato
FanDuel, the
l'opening
home
night,
of home
è stato
runs.
una sofferenza
When
atroce.
we come back,
Un'attesa spasmodica per poi arrivare e vedere che dopo praticamente dopo 2 inning era già finito tutto perché i nostri eroi avevano preso 5 punti al secondo, ma perché poi è stata una partita strana, cioè è cominciata con Webb che sembrava dominare, ha messo K a Judge, ha messo K ai primi 3 delle line-up praticamente, non gli ha fatto vedere boccia. Bassa del primo, Fried sembrava invece un po' in difficoltà, prima e terza con un out, San Francisco non riesce a segnare, dopodiché arriva e dopodiché arrivano e rimangono con le basi piene. Per il secondo inning succede l'impossibile. Webb comincia a prendere delle valde su valde, colpiti, botte, schianti, 5 punti senza neanche dire beo, e finisce la partita, cioè così, a bomba proprio. Dopo quella lì praticamente Webb non si è più ripreso, ha preso altri ulteriori 2 punti prima di scendere, prendendo 2 o 3 validi di fila. Poi sono entrati i rilievi che hanno limitato i danni. Dall'altra parte Fried 6.1, 6.2, non mi ricordo neanche quanto, dominando. Cioè quella partita dove Judge va K 3 volte, gli Yankees segnano 7 punti e non rischiano niente. Vabbè, non dico niente perché è letteralmente assurda sta cosa. Io non lo capisco, cioè quando è così proprio il baseball è in punti e non risconcepibile, e quindi vabbè. Speriamo che facciano veloce perché qui la situazione sta andando per le lunghe, c'hanno i commercial break lunghissimi, devo far uscire il gatto. Aspetta che apro anche la pagina del fantasy football, così tengo controllate le mie squadre, anche se adesso giocano solo i Mets. E dei Mets chi ho preso? Nel qua non ho preso, qui ho Cincinnati, Miami che non gioca, Tampa, Minnesota, Boston, Texas, Tampa e Baltimora. Cioè mamma mia, non ho nessuno dei Dodgers, nessuno dei Mets, nessuno degli Yankees, nessuno dei Giants, forse nei partenti. Nei partenti Seattle, Philadelphia, Miami, i Mets, Devin Williams, ho il closer, che però non posso tenere perché sono avanti 100 anni. Perché non sono live io? Perché non sono live? Sono le 18:37, è andato in banana tutto. Chiudo e riapro. Oh Santa Teresa. Non dall'inizio, live. Ah, siamo già 2-0 per i Phillies. Io mi sono perso tutto l'inizio della partita a questo punto. Non lo so perché, però vabbè.
And still 0-2 to him. You saw the numbers for Bichette with runners in scoring position last year. Going a little deeper on that.
Quindi ho parlato a cazzo di cane, questi sono già 2-0, non ho visto neanche come è andato.
30 opportunities to drive in a runner from third with less than 2 out, and he converted in 21 of those in his final season in Toronto.
Non mi ero accorto che stavo guardando la differita. Che favo tecnica.
Bichette with a fly ball the other way for O'Hearn.
Prima e terza un out, segnato appunto con una volata di Bichette, 2-1. Chi è questo qui? Madonna Lindor, che capelli incredibili, non lo riconoscevo nemmeno, porca troia.
Well, and that approach right there is exactly why Bo Bichette had so
2-1,
much success last year in these situations. You don't try to do too much in these situations. You try to use the big part of the field. You try to get something lifted if you can, especially with nobody out. And with one out, with runners on the corners, you want to stay away from that double play ball. That's
no, non questa,
right there to
non
score
questa.
Early part of the game, you'll take that.
Così.
So one in,
No, se
one
no,
out, one on, and now
se
it's
no,
Jorge
se no
Polanco,
mando la
new
partita,
veteran,
adesso mi
hitting
bannano il
first
canale
baseman
perché è andato
today.
un secondo di partita in diretta.
After 10 years in Minnesota, a couple of years in Seattle,
Quindi
signed
andiamo a
a
vedere
two-year
cosa è
off-season
successo.
deal to join the
Pensate
New
che
York
pirla.
Mets.
Primo home run di Brandon Love, che naturalmente ho messo in panca.
Soto with an aggressive lead off first. Skeens noticing that will check in.
Perché l'ho messo in panca? Dov'è? Qua. No, non è questa la squadra. Qua. Ho messo Nick Turner e Brandon Love con un home run, l'ho lasciato in panca. Sono un cinghiale di queste cose. Cioè io proprio ho le lanterne per vedere queste puttanate. Però mi partono tutti qua. Partono anche questi due qui che dovrebbero essere due pipponi atomici. Qua non gioca nessuno ancora, almeno, cioè, a parte Brandon Love che ha già fatto un run. Di qua invece Chandler Simpson non gioca. Panico, sostituire subito con Carpenter. Ho lasciato anche Brian Reynolds in panca che ha preso un K, vabbè, chi se ne frega.
Big shoes to fill though, with Pete Alonso going to Baltimore, no doubt.
Vabbè.
Little tapper, that's going to be trouble. Skeens bare hands, he's
Oh,
got it.
tutti salvi. Polanco me la mette in terra su Skeens.
I mean, again, it's exactly kind of, the Bichette at bat, and now here you see Polanco being tough. Obviously, Paul Skeens, exceptional stuff. Cy Young Award winner last year. He didn't try to do much with that. Just stayed back enough to put the ball in play. And in this case, he hit it in the perfect spot and gets a knock.
Couldn't have thrown that ball in a better spot, could he?
Not exactly a lot of loud contact against him, but it spells some trouble here with a run in and 2 on for Luis Robert Jr. making his Mets debut this afternoon. 28-year-old former Chicago White Sox, 14 homers last year, but he's a few years removed from a 38 home run campaign on the South Side. 1-1.
And I think the biggest question with Luis Robert Jr. is can he stay healthy over the course of the year, and how will Carlos Mendoza use him? How often will he try to get him off his feet? He's had a lot of soft tissue injuries over the course of his career. This guy is a lightning rod and can really do some damage when healthy and on the field.
9-iron pop-up that's going to get into the stands.
How about 44 miles an hour off the bat, man?
What's that? Yeah, I'd like to really knock the snot out of that ball.
Well, you can even go back to Soto. Soto, he just dunked it in the right center.
Ball and 2 strikes on the guy they used to call Lou Bob on the South Side. He sprays that one foul. So Paul Skeens having to work a little harder than most of us envisioned to begin the day. 23 pitches. He's only got 1 out on the board and trying to pitch out of any further trouble. The next one too. All these deep counts matter here early in the start. Don Kelly telling all of us before the game, don't expect to see Paul Skeens out there with 100+ pitches today.
Yeah, the same on the other side, right? I mean, both of these guys went out of their way when they were talking about their offenses to make sure
eccoci qua, cosa è successo? Prima e seconda un out.
Like they had a lot of guys that gave
Robert Jr.
And this is exactly what you're talking about. Fouling off 2 strike pitches. Bo Bichette, just serving one out there to right field to score a run. Not trying to go up there and hit balls out of the ballpark. Pass it to the next guy. Have good at bats.
Vediamo un
see
po'
what
come
happens
va.
over the course of 9 innings.
Skeens, fastball.
Another one fouled away.
99. Foul ball. Ponte 1 e 2. Prima e seconda occupate. Sperando che non sia in vantaggio perché se no mi dà noia. 2-2. No, qui è troppo avanti.
Was in the World Baseball Classic pitching against the Dominican Republic in Miami. Threw 71 pitches And Don Kelly telling us, you know, those aren't an ordinary 71 pitches. That's high intensity stuff in front of a big house. And Lubov just won't go away.
If this is the approach that the Mets are going to have, un pelino avanti il game day rispetto alla televisione.
This is impressive.
Quindi mi spoilerà le azioni.
Soto's at bat, of course. Lindor walks, and you got at least what I'm visualizing here, Neil, is guys that are hitting the ball where it's thrown, and also mindset to put the ball in play.
White Sox è forte all'esterno, mi piace.
Spoiling some good pitches here, Luis Robert.
Full count. So it will be a 10-pitch at-bat to Luis Robert Jr.
And again, going back, even though it's early, to that 3-2 count. Saw Paul walk Francisco Lindor in that 3-2 count. This is a big situation. Let's see if he attacks his zone or sees if he can get Chase.
Payoff pitch. Lost him on ball 4.
Basi piene per il Mets. La cosa bella del game day è che qua,
and I don't know that we saw this at any point over 32 starts last year from Skeens.
Not with the guy at 32 starts in the ERA under 2.
I pallini della gente che si muove sul campo, cioè in live, sono veramente così. Adesso che c'è un pitching coach stanno andando a chiacchierare tra di loro.
We have Adam Ottavino at field level today. Adam, what are you seeing out of Paul Skeens so far?
He's just a little off his precision right now. He's been in the zone enough to get ahead of the count the last couple batters, but he hasn't been able to put them away.
Ragazzi,
also looks like he's not trusting his breaking ball the same as we've seen in the past. I actually noticed that going back to the WBC
29 lanci stanno già al bullpen, ragazzi.
So he doesn't have all his get out of jail free cards right now.
Pensavo che fosse andato male ieri sera Brandon.
How many of us had the bullpen get hot behind Paul Skeens in the bottom of the first on our bingo cards today? Not I.
No.
Logan Webb.
You know, you're always one pitch away from getting out of it.
C'è Bati l'ho tagliato per prendere uno di Baltimora. Speriamo in bene.
So that'll bring up Brett Beatty. Saw plenty of work in spring at multiple positions for the Mets, starting at DH on opening day.
Non capisco dov'è.
Signature changeup swung on and missed.
I like what Adam said there, because there's a depth issue with vertical, right? To have some depth going down. A lot of his pitches are side to side.
Beatty to center field.
Volata.
Cruz started in.
Mamma mia, che giocata di merda.
Send him.
No, che roba inguardabile ho appena visto. Che roba inguardabile che ho appena visto. Era meglio se non guardavo. Cioè, sono contento perché l'hanno fatta i Mets.
We're not sure in this ballpark when you're playing it here. You always want to watch the wind.
C'è una volata al centro, semplice. Cruz l'ha giocata malissimo, è venuto avanti invece che indietro. 3 punti segnati con un triplo. Con un triplo. Con un triplo di Brett Beatty che io ho tagliato al Fanta. E adesso Simeon alza un poppone, vediamo se Cruz la prende stavolta, la perde nel sole e cade anche quella. Non ci credo. Doppio. No, ma che cosa sta succedendo? Paul Skeens è completamente cotto e Cruz lo ha praticamente sotterrato, gli ha messo i tacchi i chiodi sulla bara, adesso la sta spingendo dentro con un trattore gigante per caricarlo di... No, incredibile. Cioè, prima l'ha sbagliata, adesso la perde nel sole e gli cade a 1 centimetro dal guanto. Ma cos'è? Mamma mia.
5-2.
No, ma cos'è successo?
And now it's the rookie right fielder Carson Bench making his major league debut in a circumstance that none of us saw coming. A 5-run bottom of the first against 2-time All-Star Paul Skeens. And Bench behind 0-2.
Kind of interesting to note, as you see O'Neal Cruz right there, no sunglasses on out there. I know some guys really don't care to wear them all that often, but a day game like this, you know where that sun's going to be.
K, intanto Skeens ha messo uno K.
Better off safe than sorry.
Kind of blows Bench away on 3 pitches. You think that'll change? Is he a guy that doesn't like the sunglasses, or did he just not take them out there today?
No, you typically don't see him wearing sunglasses out in the outfield, but I have seen him at times. I am surprised not to see him. We see the flags right here too. I was taught when I came to play here at Citi Field, you always look at the flags that were above home plate as opposed to the other ones, because there's times that the wind will come in here and jut out either to right center or left center.
Yeah, it's definitely blowing toward left center field.
So the 9th batter to bat in this bottom of the 1st inning is the catcher Francisco Alvarez.
Ciao Henry, ciao. Nemmeno io a Castellebole faccio delle robacce del genere all'esterno. Una roba fuori di testa. Cioè, ma la seconda ci può stare anche, che l'ha persa nel sole, ma la prima proprio non l'ha vista. Ha fatto 3 passi avanti quando la palla era una fly ball lunghissima. Adesso ha messo in base Alvarez per
the same guy in the same inning in his entire life.
Well, I got a partial answer to that. He's never had a 5-run inning and didn't have one last year, and that's going to be it.
Credo Skins 0.2. Vado subito a vedere chi ce l'ho al Fanta.
Paul Skins will be done after 37
non è che ce l'ho contro io, speriamo.
Dov'è?
This is unbelievable.
Ah, ma c'è il gioco contro di te io,
Early on opening day
C'è
in New
Skins
York.
per caso? No,
Pittsburgh to the bullpen.
Speravo.
And we'll be right back.
No, ma chi ce l'ha Skins? Chi cazzo ce l'ha Skins? Non ce l'ha nessuno. Sanchez, Shane Smith, qui c'è Peralta, Soto, no ragazzi non trovo Skins. Chi è che ha Skins? Certo, sicuramente. Oh, ma chi ce l'ha Skins? Perché io non lo trovo. Ma chi cavolo ce l'ha? Ricontrolliamo. Tu avevi Logan Webb ieri sera, Henry, che... Ma nonostante questo... Cioè era a 10. Vabbè, dai. 0.21, eccolo qua, il ministro ce l'ha. Dov'è che è? Eccolo qua, Paul Skins. Minchia ragazzi, 67.5 di era. Però non hanno dato errore. Non hanno dato errore a Nick Cruz, perché ha 5 di earn run.
A surprising result is the understatement of the day on opening day. Paul Skeens lasting only 37 pitches into his opening day start, 2 outs.
Sì, ma ieri sera Webb è andato giù di testa. Nel secondo inning non ci ha più visto, ha preso 5 punti, che non era mai successo in vita sua. Ale, vai, anche lancio pazzo e via, ci siamo. Seconda e terza e 2 out. L'inning più lungo del mondo. Ciao Matteo, benvenuto.
Obviously, with runners on base, he had to throw the baseball.
Comunque, Harry, non mi ero accorto che avevi tu ieri sera Webb. Se no lo buffavo la morte, ne prendeva 12. Comunque io prendo Love in panca, zio canta. Tu chi hai oggi? Hai Misiorowski e vabbè, Trevor Rogers.
Skeens is gone after 2/3 of an inning.
Io forse ho pochi lanciatori. Oh, ciao Lollo. Ma vediamo. Per adesso ancora sul sito della cosa non l'hanno messo. Su qua su MLB Game Day cosa hanno messo? Vediamo un po'.
One home run given
Pirates,
up last year.
home run, RBI, fielding, pass and ball. Per adesso ancora nessun errore.
I feel like you can almost forecast the headlines in
Cioè,
the
il
Pittsburgh
primo,
Post-Gazette
vabbè,
and,
sono errori giganteschi,
other
però
places.
effettivamente potrebbero...
With Skeens not lasting past an inning and the WBC workload.
No, Matteo, chissà chi l'ha presa, non mi ricordo mica. Qualcuno la dovrebbe aver ereditata, oppure quando ho capito come si faceva a fare le squadre nuove l'ho fatto. No, attenzione, vediamo, palla al volo. L'esterno sinistro almeno la prende. Poverino. No, ma mi dispiace da morire per Skins. Vabbè. Vabbè. Questa è l'altra squadra. Però c'è solo una partita ancora, non c'è il Fanta iperattivo. C'è solo una partita. La faccia, sì. E vabbè. Oh, ma stavo guardando qua il buon Lallo che... Ah, vabbè, Rambo non ha ancora giocato, per quello che sei 11-0. I Marcus Simen e Luis Albert che ha fatto... Però... È peraltro. Non sei messo male, eh? Comunque a me sembra già da ieri sera che sono le partite su Netflix o in diretta su NBC. A me sembra che abbiano fatto il commercial break lunghi 100 anni, cioè non finivano mai. Ieri notte a guardare la partita mi veniva un coccolo, cioè ogni volta dovevo fare camminare avanti e indietro perché non c'è, se no mi addormentavo davanti allo schermo. Che stanno scrivendo come dei pazzi di qua. No, John è in crisi. Ho provato a proporgli uno scambio clamoroso, gli davo Mackenzie Gore, che non lo conosce, cioè che non lo vuole neanche più la sua mamma, e però un ball closer, il closer di Baltimora per Vladimir Guerrero, e mi ha mandato a cagare subito, cioè non ci ha neanche pensato 2 volte. Mi ha proposto Riley Green, no, chi era quello che c'è lui di Colorado? Ha preso uno di Colorado, dov'è? Non ce l'avrà neanche l'avrà in panchina. L'ha tagliato, avrà preso Benji sicuramente. Me lo voleva sbolognare clamorosamente, ma... vediamo la reazione di Pittsburgh. Triolo, tra l'altro, è il fratello di quello che commenta la Moto 2 e la Moto 3 su Sky.
Soto hits an 83 mile an hour off the
Sì,
bat,
infatti, tra un po' comincia. Dopo divento scemo, mi tocca mettere lo schermo a 4 e... Non ho visto se fanno beginning oggi.
37 pitches in the first inning. The rule of thumb is you start getting into the mid 20s, you worry about pitch count and injury and all that.
Adam Ottavino, from a reliever's standpoint, how do you process that bottom of the first?
It's a bit of a nightmare if you're standing out there because we expected him to go at least 4, 5, 6 innings in this one, and then, you know, a couple guys clean it up. Now you have to cover 8 innings. But I'm just sitting here a little shell-shocked. That was a crazy turn of events. I don't think he's ever had an inning from hell quite like that before.
Adam, there's times that some of the relievers aren't even in the bullpen in the first inning. Is that right?
Yeah, most of my career, I'd just be getting out of the cold tub right now, making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and a coffee. So, yeah, a little bit of 3-alarm fire going on over there.
Yeah, Adam, you're close enough. When O'Neill Cruz came in, obviously he's got to feel awful, but was there any interaction or conversation?
Yeah, a couple pats on the butt. Nothing too serious, though. They let him be.
Strike one to Spencer Horwitz. It's going to be discussed as well. I mean, O'Neill Cruz is a very important player this year for the
Ok che non ha lanciato benissimo. Ok, però con un decente all'esterno centro cambiava tutto, cioè. Olè, nonchalance.
You need to keep his head right, in other words. So, yeah, those were 2 boots.
You gotta move on. You have to move on. You gotta hope that, you know, I have to assume that both balls were affected by the sun and or the wind. I did notice with the first ball that he came in first as opposed to went back, so there were some issues there. But we did see him improve over the course of the season. The transition for him has just not been as clean as what people have expected it to be. But make no mistake, he's an unbelievably talented guy, the fastest guy on the team, hits the ball the farthest. I mean, he can do everything. How do you get that on a regular basis, though? How do you get that consistency? That's the hardest thing to do at this level offensively.
Here we go.
Third baseman Nick Gonzalez behind 0-2. Gonzalez coming off a great spring.
Freddy li mette tutti K. Eccola, velenosissima, velenosissima. Bravo però, Alvarez, grande giocata. Aveva l'antidoto per la velenosa. C'è YouTube che continua a dirmi che ho il bitrate basso. Ci credo, Maremma Maiala, ho 12 stream attivi. Cosa vuoi che faccia? Ma di certo non li chiudo. Se no che gusto c'è? Vabbè. Queste pause sono lunghissime. Ah, stasera? Allora io qua ho il televisore per vedere la partita e probabilmente guarderò l'Italia giusto perché è un pochino più importante. La Virtus mi dispiace, poi sto leggendo le notizie su Paiola, mi viene male solo a pensarci che Paiola se ne va. Oggi leggevo della Stella Rossa, cazzo, come si fa? Vabbè, la Stella Rossa è la Stella Rossa, cazzo, il derby Belgrado e tutto il resto sicuramente, però cacchio, cioè essere cresciuto con la Virtus che andava al Partizan e prendeva Danilovic, adesso arriva la Stella Rossa e prende Paiola, cioè.
Shortest outing of Paul Skeens' career. Are you as shocked as we are right now?
Yeah, really tough inning there for us. You know, it was some unfortunate
sì, altro che schermi qua. Ne ho 4, però non bastano mai.
What, if anything, did you tell him?
Paul, you know, it's all pitch count related. Really, for him, don't want to put him in harm's way, getting up in the 40 pitch count mark. If we get into a foul ball battle there, don't want to push him into
però
the
questo
mid-40s.
cazzo di game day mi spoilera i lanci, mi dà una noia clamorosa. Cioè, vedi?
A typical inning is about 15 pitches.
No,
You
adesso
start
lo
getting
tolgo
guys up
perché
into the
sennò mi
30s.
spoilerà
It's just
troppo.
it's a no-go zone for pitchers. It's certainly
Dribbler to first there ball, and they get Soto on a roller to start.
And then we add to it, right? The WBC work and all of that. But I do know that there's organizations for minor league pitching prospects, when they get to the 30 number, they take them out of the game. So this isn't like a dangerous thing for Paul Skeens, but it was the right move by Don Kelly. They got a long season, and it was an ugly inning.
A quick out for Ramirez, and that'll bring up Bo Bichette for a second time. A sac fly and an RBI in his first official at-bat as a Met in the first inning. Well, Al, you talk about this a little bit. You pitched in the big leagues for almost 20 years. Certainly you had a clunker every once in a while. Coming back from that, did you ever have a stinker like that on opening day? I mean, right?
No,
timing is odd.
And I'll be look, guys. I played for the Mets. I played for 4 different teams. There's no like pulling either way. But he's a special talent right there. Unbelievable.
Sì, Paul
His
Skeens
work
è
ethic, his
completamente
routine,
avulso
his
da ogni
stuff.
pensiero. Guarda lì.
It's unprecedented. It really is. And I don't give a whole lot of praise. I'm pretty honest
Quindi
about my
se continua
assessment.
così, tra
That's
Webb che è
shocking,
andato malissimo,
and also, as you
Skeens che è
just,
andato
you
male,
framed it, Matty,
i
it's,
Dodgers
opening
prendono
day, the
12
excitement
punti.
here at Citi Field, what that young man has done in the past, only 2 years, Rookie of the Year 2 years ago, National League Cy Young Award winner last year. Yeah, it's shocking.
I'll tell you what I love personally from a fan standpoint, and Neil, you know him better than Al and I do. He's sitting right there. He didn't go up the tunnel. He's not showered. He's not hiding in the club. He's going to watch the rest of the game.
That's not surprising to me. I mean, there's nobody that cares more about this team than Paul Skeens. He works harder than anybody that's down there. He's going to assess today in a very positive way somehow, and he will turn this thing around. The next time he gets out, probably in Cincinnati, I can almost guarantee you it will be rectified. But we don't know if there was something mechanically a little bit off, or what the case may be. But he is going to be supporting this team for the rest of this game. He doesn't care about anything else right now, but trying to creep back into this game.
2 quick outs now for Jorge Polanco.
Hey, stuff happens, right, guys? It's baseball. You throw one down the middle as a pitcher, and a guy hits a rocket out at somebody. Then you got a swinging bunt that rolls down the third base line at Polanco. Like, it's baseball. You control what you can control as a pitcher. You let the ball go. You've got guys behind you. You hope they hit it at somebody, and you make pitches. I don't think there was anything wrong with him. His stuff was every bit as good. That was a problem there. Neil Cruz, that was a rough inning to put him
strike per sbaglio con Polanco.
Counts 2 balls and no strikes on Jorge Polanco. Singled and scored in the 5-run first. Well, I'll tell you another thing that's in play here is the Mets opening day magic. Al, you know about it. It's a thing. The Mets win on opening day. Best big league record on opening day. A .631 winning percentage in lid lifters. Ball 4 to Polanco.
That is true, right? I knew when I was here they talked about it. I guess it's still going.
It's a thing.
All right.
41 and 23 all time on opening day. They have lost their last 2. There's something about this franchise in opening day magic. Already the 3rd walk by Pirates pitching today. First 2 had scored, and now Luis Robert Jr. for a second time. He drew one of the walks and scored in the first.
Even right there,
se forse si decidesse a tirare qualche strike, magari i battitori di Mets girerebbero anche la mazza.
He got a new pitcher, scouting report, etc., and he takes a pitch that was borderline to see pitches.
Yep.
Sorpreso clamorosamente, non avrebbe mai girato
portion of a game and in the early portion of the year was how many pitches can I see, within reason to the game situation, runners in scoring position, all those things. I wanted to see, in my first at bat, if a guy had 4 pitches and I saw 3 of them, even if I got out, I saw that as a success. And obviously situations change from time to time. But when we talked to Carlos Mendoza, he talked about that. He talked about the professional at bats that we're going to see from this collective group of Mets, right? And we're seeing it right off the bat.
È successo tutto nel primo inning. Adesso sembra che sia veramente. Eccola, vai. Doppio gioco, no, tira in prima. Era 2 out. Fava. Certo che tira in prima. Vediamo l'altro Fanta come sono messo. Ryan Reynolds lasciato in panca e il mio avversario non ha ancora nessuno. Mamma che sonno. Comunque io non so se qualcuno di voi ha guardato la partita stanotte, ma io sono completamente rincoglionito ormai da questi cazzo di nottate, devo smetterla. Stanotte vado a letto presto, prometto. Ma c'è anche Sinner in questo momento? Cioè, ma basta, ma come cazzo si fa? Troppe cose. Oh, TV, accenditi. Bravo. Aspetta che devo andare a fare una foto.
On NBC is brought to you by Adobe. Fan experience. It starts with Adobe, official partner of Major League Baseball. And by T-Mobile. T-Mobile members get free MLB.TV. Redeem at T-Mobile.com/MLB. Some 1987 opening day highlights. Mets get their rings. A 5-2 lead for New York on opening day of 2026. Shattered bat roller that goes foul off the bat of Henry Davis, leading things off in the Bucks half of inning number 3. Davis, then top of the order, Cruz and Lau. And speaking of Mets season openers, the 5-run first today is the first time that the Mets have ever scored 3 or more runs in the first inning of a season opener.
Makes sense, right? You're facing the opposing ace, and usually they're
yeah, you're right.
Right? I mean, you're not facing the fifth starter, some of call-up guys. They're usually the premium ace arms.
Not much made sense through the first 6 outs of this game, I can tell you that.
Some Mets minutia history.
The magic, you said.
First time scoring more than 3 runs in the first inning of the season opener.
Eccomi.
Sure we're right.
Allora, c'è anche Sinner.
It's 1-1 to Davis.
Io non sapevo nulla. Io vivo in un altro mondo. Mettiamolo senza audio, Sinner, se no.
When do we see the first ABS, Neil?
Così sarà contento quello di YouTube che dice che non c'ho streaming, che non c'ho abbastanza. Vabbè, 6-2, 3-2, ha già breccato anche nel secondo set.
Are super aggressive with it? Is it going to be more related to the situation, account? I think time will tell how this is going to evolve, but I think it's going to have to be 2-3 weeks of games.
How about the play here, Neil? New third baseman, nice short hop pick, wobbly throw. New first baseman with a very agile move.
Get that first one out of the way. It's not always easiest, and that was a tough little play right there. He's used to the body control stuff, being on the left side of the infield for a long period of time, but make no mistake, it's going to be a challenge to really get comfortable at that spot, because you got the fielding portion of it, and then you have the throwing portion of it. And those balls, especially to your left and right, especially in that 6-hole, it's easy to get out of whack, especially when you're coming from shortstop, where that ball in the 6-hole, you already got your shoulders set toward first base. You have to really work hard to get your body turned with a lot of balls at third base.
0-2 the count to O'Neal Cruz, who would love to begin the redemption process here with his second plate appearance of the afternoon. Yes, he singled and scored a run in front of Lau's first inning homer, but the 2 misplays were costly and a part of the 5-2 deficit narrative. Ball and 2 strikes.
Oh, ragazzi. Dai, mo, un po' di animo Pittsburgh, facci vedere qualcosina. Se no mi metto a guardare Sinner, ti ricatto. Cruz deve andare a battere con una carogna dopo quelle 2 cappelle che ha fatto al primo inning. Che adesso se gira e prende la pallina la spedisce direttamente nel New Jersey. Porca troia. Colpisce un aereo che atterra al JFK. Ma infatti Peralta se la sogna di mettergli una palla, se la sogna di mettergli una palla in mezzo, perché se la ritrova veramente a Flushing Meadows.
It can be easy sometimes, guys, to try to want to get that run back or get multiple runs back after you make a bad defensive play. No, Cruz got a base hit in that first inning and he's putting together a good professional at bat right here.
Guy that homered due up next. Neil Cruz has gone to a full count in each of his plate appearances against Freddie Peralta here so far.
Oh, fuori. 40 pari Sinner. 3-2 nel secondo set.
Peralta's mowed down 7 in a row since that Lau homer.
No, contestala, che era un strike netto.
We got a cap touch.
Contestata, attenzione. L'ABS, vediamo cosa dice. Strike out. Grandioso, questo qui sì che cambia il baseball.
In spring training and to begin the season is reluctant to give their pitchers the green light to challenge calls. But Freddie knew he had the zone there.
Ma io non ho capito chi l'ha chiesto, il pitcher o il catcher? Vediamo. Allora, lancio. Sì. Peralta l'ha chiesto. Ed è più difficile, è molto più difficile per il pitcher vedere rispetto al catcher. Poi è vero che è uno strikeout, ma è anche vero che sei 5-2 al terzo inning. Se lo sbagli perdi subito un challenge. No, un altro no. Non ci credo, l'ho messo in panca. No, ma dai, ma che pirla sono.
Another moonshot, the first one in inning number 1, 103 off the bat, sky high. I think this was probably arguably higher than that one. This one did not want to come
Henry, ringraziami perché un regalo così non te lo faccio più. Cioè, figa, 2 su 2 con 2 home run e l'ho messo in panca. Per far giocare poi in corner, che non batterà neanche se viene giù la Madonna contro cavalli.
It's crazy, Al. Watching him work in the cage.
Cos'è questa cosa? Bellissima la maschera da saldatore.
It doesn't make sense to you. It's not the body type that you would expect.
Sì, ma doveva avvertire me, doveva dirmi: "Oh, guarda che oggi sono in forma, mettimi". Invece che Nick Horn. Ho messo Andrew Vaughn come utility. Tra l'altro è iniziata a Chicago, è iniziata ai White Sox. Fammi mettere il doppio schermo, così YouTube muore.
How to get leverage, which is so impressive for a guy his size.
Dov'è che
Look, Ben Oglivie hit 40 homers with the Brewers back in the 70s, and he was about 165 pounds soaking wet. It can be done.
Yeah.
Brian Reynolds with a gapper into left center field. He'll be satisfied with a single.
Un'altra valida, eh? Brian Reynolds, anche lui ho messo in panca nell'altro fanta. Cioè, che cacchio, cioè, sono veramente un genio. Era qua.
That's a nice piece of hitting right there, guys. I mean, watch him stay inside this baseball. Almost shoots it toward that left center field gap to get to the wall.
I White Sox sono già in vantaggio 1-0. Fammi un po' vedere qua. Dov'è? Game day.
Important piece to the puzzle that is the Pirates offense.
So now Marcelo Ozuna.
Cosa è successo qua? Un run di questo tizio di cui non so neanche come pronunciare il nome.
Guy who does not swing the bat very often. His swing percentage last year of under 40%, 7th lowest in baseball. He picks his spots, has a real good idea of the zone. Lays off that when it's 1-1.
Ho sbagliato, fermi tutti. Ho perso l'audio.
That's out to right center field.
Oh, bella presa.
Jump and makes a fine catch to prevent any further damage. Brandon Lau's second of the afternoon, however, has made it a 2-run game.
Comunque Misirowski tira piano, ragazzi. 99.3. Aspetta, giriamo qua.
Benintendi, 20 home runs a season ago for the White Sox.
C'è anche Boston che gioca, no? C'è anche Washington che gioca.
Doing the DHing, and he will DH for the majority of his appearances this year for Chicago. Good pitch.
Metto l'altro qui dentro che sto guardando.
Ball and 2 strikes on Benintendi.
Doing a pretty good job on the edges after that fastball that was hit out of the ballpark.
Trying to get out of this first inning. Let the Brewers go to work on offense. Zerowski's 1-2. 2-2.
2-2 out con
straight fastballs.
Basi vuote per Misirowski, per Benintendi chiudato. White Sox alla battuta. Intanto Sinner è 5-2 e palle servizio al secondo inning con tutti a fuoco, quindi mi sa che è già finita. Posso spegnere.
Oh, it's straight back again. 99. Everything up in the zone with that fastball.
That's where you want it, really. I mean, fastballs like that down in the zone, a little easier to get a bat on. Up in the zone, a little different. Got to mix in the off-speed stuff, though.
Pitch number 23 in the inning. Another 2-2 to Benintendi. A foul. Hung in there with that breaking ball. And William Contreras trying to slow things down for Miz.
Yeah, that mind's going quickly. It's up to Contreras to keep him at bay a bit.
Again on 2-2 on Benintendi. Got him.
Kappa.
1-1, and he finishes the inning with a strikeout. Madrago the homer. Miz with 3 Ks.
Walker teammates are getting love here.
I was there for that one.
You were also there for the last time a Bucco hit 2 homers on opening day. Your former mate Garrett Jones did it in 2010.
That's right.
So a 5-3 lead for the Mets as they bat in the bottom half of inning number 3. And Brett Beatty turns on one to foul it off. 0-2 to Beatty leading things off. Followed by Semien and Benj.
Well, you got to assume Don Kelly and the Pirates are hoping that Yohan Ramirez can get at least 7 outs. He did a nice job coming in there and softening that tough first inning. Limited the damage there. The second inning, I know they're hoping he can get 3 more outs and pass this thing to another guy down in that bullpen.
Just tuning in, Paul Skeens was removed after 2/3 of an inning. There was no injury concern, but the wheels kind of came off on a 5-run first. Ball and 2 strikes, the count to Brett Beatty. DHing today on opening day. As we mentioned earlier, took a lot of reps at first base and in the outfield in the spring. Still the ball and 2 strikes.
I really like Brett Beatty. 18 home runs last year. Now trying to find a way to get him.
Misirowski è cominciato piano. Va bene che ha preso un home run, però 3K subito.
I'd see him growing a lot maturity-wise over the last couple of years.
When he has the hit tool, as you mentioned, it's just a matter of, how do they want to use him? Not exactly a quote-unquote DH only type of guy, obviously, but can really be an X factor.
3 match point per Sinner, attenzione.
So many changes to both sides from last year's opening day lineup. For the Mets, Beatty, of course, an incumbent, a returnee. But as you mentioned, probably used a little differently this year with additions around him. Guys like Semien in particular. Bichette. Very different infield for the Mets in 2026. Bo knows infield. Be fine at third base.
Oh no!
And a full count now to Brett Beatty, leading things off in the third. The question is always asked, what's sharper coming out of spring training? Which side of the scorecard is sharper? The pitching side or the hitting side?
Pitching.
I would agree with that.
For one Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and turn all of your purchases into extraordinary trips. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Well, 8 runs on 8 hits so far. We're not even out of the third. I don't know that I would agree with you in terms of our little game I got today so far. But I know what you're saying. Here's Marcus Semien now for his second time.
Mobile. That's how quick it is. I like it. I really do.
Brewers hanno appena chiamato una pallaccia in mezzo al piatto.
Instead of 3-1, it's 2-2.
Strike, hanno chiesto la DS per strike di 10 metri.
Yeah, this early in the game, you had better know that you're right. You don't want to be giving up challenges this early with nobody on. First inning.
Rimbalzante contro il pitcher che assiste in prima malissimo, butta la palla nel dugout, ma ancora buona. Corridore in seconda per i Mets. Ottimo. Valida per i Brewers.
It'll be a double for Bryce Terang, and here come the Brewer bats.
He just keeps going, doesn't he? Getting better and better every year. Seems like every day he does something to get better. He doubled to the opposite field on a fastball away. Sticks the bat out there. Bat speed at the point of contact, and he finds the gap out in the left center. There's a good start offensively for the Crew.
It's a leadoff homer by Maidra for the White Sox. It's a leadoff double for Bryce Terang. And now it's Contreras. Championship with Team Venezuela in the World Baseball Classic.
Mentre anche i Mets hanno
check swing foul into the Brewers dugout.
Con un out però i Mets.
97 on the fastball from Shane Smith.
Yeah, big fastball, good changeup. Got a 4-seamer, a 2-seamer.
Contreras just trying to shoot one to the right side.
L'altra Chicago.
William going with the long hair. Totally different hairstyle than we've seen in his previous seasons with the Brewers. Popped up on the infield. Montgomery for the first out. Now it's Christian Yelich.
C'è simpatia Yelich a battere.
Great season for him last year. 29 homers, drove in 103.
Tanto di là Carson Bench è 1-2.
Played in 150 games just to have a healthy Christian Yelich nearly every day. It was a huge difference maker.
Yeah, the DH difference maker for him. Took him a while to get accustomed to that spot. Not as easy as you might think. But once he figured it out, he was the Christian Yelich of old.
First time he'd eclipsed that 100 RBI mark since 2018. Swings through that fastball. It's quickly 0-2.
Smith non è assolutamente male.
Shane Smith, his second appearance against the Brewers. Faced Milwaukee in late April last year down in Chicago. Brewers beat him that day. 0-2 hit foul. They're going after him with fastballs.
2 out col corridore in seconda per i Mets, mentre a Chicago dalla parte perché sopra qui sono a Milwaukee. A Chicago nella North Side
Guy on deck has a little bit to prove against his old team as well.
Vaughn waiting next.
Diretta, che nervo. Ma perché non mi metti in diretta? Cazzo, ecco, adesso ci siamo.
By the Nats.
Il volume. Questa cosa è odiosa.
Swing and a miss.
Quindi era messo, come siamo messi.
High
Corridore in
fastball.
seconda.
Capable of getting on top of that pitch, but that one's pretty juicy.
Cavalli ha già preso un doppio.
Bush out there at second,
quel
so the
baffo
Cubs
alla
with
Ryan
a threat
Fitzpatrick di
near the early going. Cavalli sets.
Di Cavalli.
And the 2-2 pop foul out of play. Alex Bregman, who was the second overall pick in the 2015 draft out of LSU, just right after Dansby Swanson. Been an all-star 3 times. He's won a Gold Glove.
And just a few picks ahead of Ian Happ being selected by the Cubs. And went to number 9 overall that year.
Pone, attenzione per i Mets, terzo out.
Cavalli ready.
L'esterno sinistro di Pittsburgh non ne sbaglia uno, a differenza di oh, c'è Andrew Vaughn alla battuta, attenzione, mi risposto di qua.
To Chicago.
Andrew Vaughn ce l'ho io al fan.
And Vaughn, as soon as he debuted with the Brewers, the sky was the limit for him. He hit over 300, hit 9 homers, and drove in 46 over the last 3 months.
2 out e corridore in terzo per Milwaukee, sempre 1-0 per i Sox.
And strike one on Vaughn.
He'll be the first guy. Change of scenery has benefited.
And for Vaughn, he starts this season just as he ended last season, hot. Had a great spring, as did Jake Bowers, who's on deck. Tugged. With the injury to Jackson Chourio, Macy Bowers out in left field more regularly. Allows Vaughn to play first base almost every day. Tying run at third. Slow roller hit to short. Montgomery with time. Side retired. Lead off double from Terang. He's stranded at third base.
Praticamente col manico
1 inning complete. 1-0 Chicago.
Assiste facilmente in casa in prima e ha un chiuso. Torniamo all'unica partita attiva adesso è i Cubs contro i Washington Nationals con Cavalli che non ha ancora fatto un out. No, ha fatto un out.
Big old curveball that generates a lot of the ground balls.
Seconda, infatti si è spostato in seconda.
They feel like he could end up being a really nice piece.
Palla in mezzo.
And that one is in
out,
there, and no argument from Happ. Good changeup, 91 miles an hour.
Yeah, I don't think he really wanted to throw his changeup right through the heart of the zone like that, but he got away with it. And again, you get a sense of how good his arm is. A changeup at 92.
And here's Pete Crow Armstrong. PCA had a birthday yesterday, turned 24. And Cavalli drops that knuckle curve in there. It's a curveball, and it's 86 miles an hour.
Yeah, apparently he's tweaked his grip a little bit. He'll throw a little bit of a sweep
curva
or two with that
86
pitch,
all'ora per Cavalli.
That's a good
non male.
intervistano
Mendoza in
mezzo. It wasn't sloppy either. Had a lot of play.
Alta curva. Questa volta rimane alta.
Strike now. Pete Crow Armstrong. Cavalli's big dude, 6'4", 223.
Torino sulla prima base, eliminato Ryan Warren intanto
and down to third
Pittsburgh.
Goes Michael Bush on a pitch in the dirt.
Palla per terra intanto Chicago e corridore in terza.
Definitely offered at it.
Oh, era un colpito, però ha girato quel pirla di coso.
The Nats should be arguing that Bush needs to go back to second base. No? Oh, no, because it was a swing. My bad. Baseball rules, you have to learn them again every year.
Well,
you know. How many outs do you get in an inning, Brute?
It's going to be 3 until further notice. And that is in there. Got him
out
looking.
per
Cavalli pitches around a leadoff double, and Bush left stranded.
Vero. Torniamo a
And that's what revealed the hairline fracture for him. So the timeline for Chourio to return about 2 to 4 weeks. Possible he could return in April here, guys. Certainly tough news considering Chourio such a big piece of this Brewers offense. Back-to-back 20 home run, 20 stolen base seasons for him. But he said he feels fine. He's going to continue to stay as active as possible. And the idea here is to just let it heal fully, not let this be a lingering injury. Pat Murphy said there was some concern if he continued to play through it, it could become more serious. So they'll be without Chourio for at least 2 to 4 weeks.
Thank you so much, Sophia. And certainly disappointing when you show up at the ballpark today, and that's the news you get with all of the optimism around opening day. But better now than later.
Yeah, it's better off to get it out of the way right away instead of making it worse.
Rimbalzante sull'indoor.
Again, it was interesting. That happened early in March in an exhibition game with the WBC. He played, just about a month with it. Came up with a check swing in the games against the Cincinnati Reds and kind of felt it a little bit and said something. And now he's on the injured list.
Nice to have a guy like Blake Perkins ready and able to go. Ground ball to third. Hamilton throws out Hayes. 4 straight retired for Mizorowski.
David Hamilton's going to be a big part of this Brewers team. Had a really good spring. Puts the ball in play. Really good over at third base. He and Rengifo are going to split time over there, I would imagine. You're going to like watching David Hamilton for sure.
He is a Brewer through and through. Not a big guy. Runs very well. Position versatility. A great spring.
High baseball IQ.
Oh, Murakami in battuta.
Munetaka Murakami. Newest of the Chicago White Sox. Sign of the offseason. Won the Triple Crown in Japan a few years ago, 2022. Back MVPs.
Ball.
They love his slug.
An interesting year for the Chicago White Sox. I mean, their coaching staff is they pride themselves on the ability to teach these young players. I mean, that's what we've been told up here in the booth.
Ball ancora.
A lot of young players to teach. Get them through a big league season. Well, Venerable, a pretty good player in his own right, back in his playing days.
Longtime San Diego Padre. Been on the bench with Bruce Bochy in Texas for a number of years. Fastball from Miz.
I played with his dad Max with the Angels way back when.
There's Jordan Love. Threw out a first pitch today. Green Bay Packers quarterback.
Jordan Love, il quarterback dei Green Bay Packers, sugli spalti.
Also a first pitch for Jordan Stoltz, the Olympian from Wisconsin. We'll be chatting with Sophia Minnaert later in this broadcast. Star-studded day in Milwaukee for opening day. 3-2 to Murakami.
Ball.
And it missed inside. He draws a walk.
Base ball per il primo turno in Major League Murakami.
Ball for Feldko. That is presented by Feldko.
Adesso gli metteranno anche il traduttore prima perché non si riesce a comunicare. Oh, home run. Chi è stato? Wimmer.
Everson Pereira.
Boyd. Washington avanti 1-0.
Big time prospect in the Yankees organization.
Primo home run della stagione.
Played last year with the Rays system. Makes his first opening day start in right. Runner at first, Murakami. There's a strike through the changeup. Throwing a couple of changeups in this inning.
Yeah, just kind of second inning, maybe settle in a little bit. I mean, his enthusiasm and that energy maybe under control a little bit more after the first.
And time called and granted.
A little late. A little late. Mark Wegner, the home plate umpire, giving time.
Ferreira apologizing to Mizorowski, but it's up to the umpire to grant it. Slow roller foul. Leadoff home run off the bat of Chase Maidrov. Got the season started for the White Sox.
With a bang. Yeah. No doubter.
Stays 0-2. See the velocity just a hair down in this second inning from Mizorowski. You can only imagine go back into the dugout and just taking a breath after a 24-pitch first, your first opening day roster that you've made, and you're on the hill. Another 0-2.
Base per
got him.
How about that?
Strike out.
That slider. Wow.
Non male questa slapper.
He must have broke 3 feet. Looked like it anyway. A lot of fastballs. Then the slider puts him away. Not even close. Way off the outside corner. Good pitch when you're up in the count like that.
4 Ks for Mizorowski. Edgar Caro, switch hitter, batting from the left side. Over 400 plate appearances last year for the White Sox. Jammed foul.
Quality catcher behind home plate.
On a strike on Carroll.
I like the fact that he's not trying to hump up to over 100 miles an hour. I mean, that's the way you stay in the game a little bit longer. 98, 99, that'll get it done. As long as you're able to land the off-speed stuff.
Pitch count continuing to climb. See Chris Hook on the iPad there. Just missed. Tried to backdoor that slider.
Not moving a whole lot, you know, when he leaves it arm side like that. It's more like a changeup.
It's a count back up. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Went back to that slider. Sky's the limit for Mizorowski. We saw just a tease of it last season. Got him. Blew him away with 99. 5 Ks the first 2 innings for Mizorowski. Miz on opening day, 23 years.
Handicap him as a preseason favorite.
I've always felt, given being healthy the entire year as an offensive player, or at least my experience was, I was going to have 2 not good months. I was going to have 2 good months, and I was going to have 2 months that were right at those numbers. But somebody like Juan Soto, that's 1%ers, I call them. The rules don't apply to guys like that. They could have one really bad month, and the next month a career month.
I'm glad you said that, because the MVP, Cy Young guys, they don't think that way, right? I mean, you have to have the stuff, you have to have the mindset, you have to have the belief, and also the results. I'll say this quickly. I was in the minor leagues with the Yankees. Joe Altobelli was an old manager with the Orioles, and he said exactly what you just said. You have 5 months, essentially. You're going to have 2 good ones, 2 bad ones, and then what do you do with that 3rd one? And it's you get 5. You get basically 5 starts a month, right? If you extrapolate it over 6 months. But it actually gives the ease of somebody who is maybe not great to not panic over a bad month.
Full count to Juan Soto. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Runner at first with nobody out. A little check in for Lindor. Speaking of the 4-time MVP Shohei Ohtani and the world champion Los Angeles Dodgers, they open their season later tonight on NBC at home with the Arizona Diamondbacks. They'll get their World Series rings and a lot of fanfare at Chavez Ravine later on tonight. There's ball 4 to Soto. Back-to-back walks from Montgomery.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how hard Mason Montgomery throws. This is a bugaboo for any pitcher, certainly pitching coach and manager. Throw strikes, make them put it in play. You're down by a couple. Try to keep the team close. You get an opportunity later in the game.
That's the 5th walk by Pirate pitching so far this afternoon. Another chance for Bo Bichette. Lindor walks to open the inning. Soto walks, something he did a lot of last year. In fact, nobody drew more bases on balls than Juan Soto in 2025. How about the lead he's got off of first base? He's halfway to second. Bichette up there ripping, and it's 0-2. And 3 pitches take care of Bo Bichette. 1 away from Montgomery.
Bichette cappa contro il lancio.
There you go. You see the power and the stuff that Mason Montgomery has as he walks the first 2 batters of this inning, but quickly gets ahead of Bo Bichette. And he's not swinging at that pitch if it's 2-1. He's not swinging at that pitch if it's 3-1. But you got him on tilt a little bit right there with an 0-2 count, just trying to protect.
Mi sta venendo sonno, ragazzi. Mi sa che vado a fare un pisolino prima di mangiare.
So now the switch hitter Jorge Polanco in from the right side, where he had a lot of success last year against lefty pitching, an OPS of almost 900. Lindor and Soto aboard with now 1 away after the strikeout.
Ci sentiamo, grazie se avete visto la diretta e magari la prossima volta avverto prima. Ciao.